I want to take a quick run through my this buyer specialist business plan tool. And the way this works is this is meant to allow you to really plan out and put in your goals and where you exactly you expect all of your transactions to come from uh, on an annualized basis. It always takes a few months to catch up, but if we're consistently doing the right things, eventually that does catch up and falls into place as long as we're consistent. So I'm going to go through here and just kind of show you how the tool works. It's very, very easy to use. Um, this is, I'm coming in here, I've put a $270,000 average price point. It's pretty close to where we are on average. Right now, as I do this video, we're tracking slightly under that. Sometimes we track over it, but that's a pretty good estimate. This down here, 2.75%, that assumes that 2.5% was being offered on some of the listings and 3% was being offered on some of the other listings, and we met in the middle. So these two you can change. You can adjust these however you like. This is just kind of a good one for us as a group as far as the numbers are concerned. And then that's going to come down and calculate into the gross commission down here for you. So on this sheet, all the green fields are the only ones that are editable and the only ones that you need to worry about. So this is going to be very easy to fill out. It's all about your goals, and the tool is going to do everything else for you. So company provided internet leads. As most of you have heard me say, that we provide you enough leads to where you should be able to get at least 12. So I'm going to be conservative and say that if you're consistently working our leads, you should get 12 transactions per year. Now, of course, we have agents that are going to do much more than that. But the 12 is a very achievable number if you just stay consistent. Now we're going to go down to open houses. If open houses is part of your business plan of how you expect to get more buyers, then we'll fill this out. So let's come in here for now, and let's just say that we're going to get 5 transactions this year off of open houses. That's our goal, is to get 5 from that lead source. Your sphere, your past client referrals. Well, that's a big one. We're going to weight this particular one. Let's just here, just for fun, let's put in 8. That gets us up to 25 transactions for the year. And let's just say that you also want to get into networking events and you want to go and go out and meet people and network and so forth. And you're going to go out to an event or a party or a get together, and you're going to use that to network and get some business off of it. Well, let's just say that you're going to do a little bit of that, and let's say you're going to do, one transaction from that. So that gives us 26 transactions. Now over here, you'll see on the splits, I've made the assumption here that some of these self-provided transactions will be paid at a lower amount, some will be paid at a higher amount. We're going to end up averaging at around 70%. That's going to be relative to how many of them you do, obviously, and the price points on them, and the commission on them. So we also, of course, have our legacy plan, which is bringing agents to the brokerage. I think that's something that we've put out there as a company. It can be very, very lucrative, especially considered it's an infinite referral. So let's say that you worked and kept your eyes open and invited some people out and referred and so forth. Let's say you were able to get 2 agents here this year. Okay, so we have gone and filled in the listing referrals for you. You may be able to do more than that, but this just assumes that for about every 6 buyers that you run into working buyer leads, somebody is going to end up being a listing from this, which will give you 4. So you might do better than that, and really all of these numbers are conservative where you could do better than this, but the idea here is to set you with a plan. So now we get into our scheduling, and let's take each one individual. So we're going to go down here, and we have the company provided internet leads. And when you fill out the top part, all of these numbers are going to fill in for you based on what you put in the top. So we have company provided leads. We said we were going to do 12 transactions. That's going to match up here. That requires 33 leads a month, which at a 3% close rate. We have some lead sources that are closing a little over 3%, some that are closing a little under, but that's a good thing to say that you can expect of yourself, as you should be able to do at least that. 33 leads a month, we're always pretty much going to be able to give you that. We a lot of times have more than that coming in, but our goal is to give an average of at least 30 to 40 leads per month per agent. And so if we take all of this and look at it, then that's going to take about 400 calls per month. This includes people that don't answer the phone, people that don't respond to text. And calls and text can be interchangeable as long as you're doing both, keeping in mind that when you're having a text conversation, the goal is to actually be able to eventually speak to them on the phone. So between the two, we need to reach out to about 400 people per month. That is going to be, if we look at 20 days a week, being Monday through Friday, for 4 weeks, that's going to be 20 per day and 100 per week. So that's 100 calls, texts per week that we need to have time to allocate ourselves to if we're going to achieve our goal. Okay? And it's only 20 a day, not a ton of calls. Open houses. We wanted to do 5 open houses, so this fills in and tells us that we need 8 open house leads. Well, to do that, assuming, most open houses, we do pretty good at getting people in a lot of times, but we've tried to be conservative on this, and we've assumed 5 leads per open house. So you're going to need to do 2 open houses, which should get you at least 8 leads and maybe a little more every month. And so then we need to make 50 follow-up calls. That's include people not answering the phone, people not talking to you, and so forth. But that's over the course of a whole month. So it's only 3 calls per day and 13 calls for the entire week to the leads that you achieved from your open house. Now we look down here at our sphere. If we wanted to get 8 transactions, we have a level of people that we need to contact and speak with on a monthly basis. We also have how many calls we think it most likely will take to achieve those contacts. A little bit better percentage on that because they know you and they should answer your phone call better. And then you should meet in person with a certain amount of people relative to the transactions you're going to get. So this is what you have to do every month, every week, and every day to achieve the goals that you need at the end of the year. All right? And then networking events, transactions. We went in there, how many events do you need to go to, and then how many weekly follow-up calls do you need? So this has us attending 2 open houses a month, going to 1 networking event a month, and then it's got our phone calls. All this adds up together, making 131 phone calls a month, which is about 26 a day. So we look at this and say, hey, how do we need to schedule our time to make sure that we can do this? Because, is this a lot? How much time does it take? Well, that's back up here at the very top, and that's our main master thing that we've got, where it's taken all of this and it's factored in, and we, according to a bunch of studies as well as personal research, about 12 per hour is a number that you can consistently call, text, have conversations when they answer, and so forth. Sometimes we'll call more than that if no one answers. Other times you might have other conversations, but about 12 per hour is a good assessment. So that's going to mean that in order for all of this to happen, and to be able to make these calls, you need to have 11 hours set aside during the week that you're going to do nothing but make phone calls. And that's not a phone call, then take a break and do something else, and take a break and talk to somebody else. That's 11 hours that you're calling and texting people consistently. Consider that the job part of the business where you've got to go do it, and you set your time, and you're going to go in, you're going to make the phone calls, you're going to get it done and do the best you can with it. Then you've got 9 hours per week on average that you're allocating to the rest of your lead generation. So that's going to come up to a total of 20 hours a week and 7 in-person meetings with your sphere. So this 9 hours, you're only doing 2 open houses monthly, but let's say it's an open house week. That might be 4 hours. We're only going to count the hours that you're actually in the open house, not setting it up. So that might be 4 hours. And then maybe you go to 1 3-hour networking event that gets, in a week. And then maybe you spend the rest of the time talking to your sphere, meeting for coffee for an hour with your sphere. So all that's allocated in there at 9 hours a week. So once again, this perfectly worked out to be 20 hours. Now, if you were after less transactions or different transactions or a different mix of sphere and so forth, then these numbers could change. But this falls right back into the 20 hours a week that we're always looking for. If you've got that really set aside for prospecting, that's a good staple to use. Some people are going to do more, some people are going to do less. But statistically, in order to achieve these numbers, this is the time that you need to put in, and these are the activities that you need to do. So if you can start following this on a consistent weekly basis, and you do it for a good few months, then your production will start catching up, and you're going to fall right into place here so that we can actually come in and get the 12 company transactions, to get the 5 open houses, as well as the rest of these numbers. And what you're going to find is if you actually do this, you're probably going to do better because of the conservative manner that I put this in to make sure that you were able to achieve your goals with the time put in. So that's the tool. Of course, I'm available for any questions anyone has at any point in time, but very simple. Just fill in the green parts, and if you don't know what to put for the top, I would leave it right where it is because these are pretty good numbers. Just fill in the goals that you have. Let's make sure that this will come out here. And then the question is, what have you been doing? Is this the schedule that you've been following? What adjustments do you need to make? How can you fit this into your regular schedule? We always talk about scheduling. Well, this is the most important time. So this needs to be your priority when you build your schedule. Everything else goes around this. Your showings go around this. Anything else that you got to do goes around this. And as long as you can just schedule just 20 hours a week, hard set where you're going to follow it, your goals will be achieved. So I hope this is helpful for everyone. I think it's an amazing tool. It's something I've wanted to put together for a while, and it really should truly give you a path to success here. So I hope you all enjoy it.